Having installed its first elevator in China in 1907, Otis Elevator Company has more recently been working hard to stand out in China's growing market by going beyond production and emphasizing innovation. The 160-year-old industry leader recently won a contract for Goldin Finance 117, a nearly 600-meter-high skyscraper in Tianjin that will surpass the Shanghai World Financial Center as the second tallest building in China. About 13,000, or nearly 20% of Otis' global workforce now works in China. Otis President Pedro Baranda recently told China Daily that they have even bigger plans for China, which sits at the center of their global development map. I would like to start by congratulating you on the 160 years anniversary for Otis Elevator Company. Congratulations, happy birthday. The Goldin Finance Tower in Tianjin. Let's start from there. What is it about?
The Goldin Finance 117 Tower in Tianjin, which is a very iconic building that will mark the skyline of the city. It's going to be with a height of in the neighborhood of 600 meters. It will be one of the top 10 buildings in the world, and we are very excited having selected to supply more than 250 units.
So how long this project will last?
It's going to be in construction for another about 2 years. And when you go to Tianjin at the end of this year and then during the following year, you should be able to visibly see the structure that's going up.
So what this deal means in terms of Otis development in China?
Now what this means is just another step in our progress in China. China has become the largest market for elevators in the world. It also represents today about 20% of our revenue, China combined, and it's growing faster than the average market around the world. What we're seeing in China, I think it's history. We have never seen economic development at such scale and such pace.
What exactly does China offer to your company?
Well, it offers two fundamental things. One is the market. So already China is the largest market in the world. Just imagine about 60% of the elevators sold in the world today are sold in China.
Right.
And an even higher proportion of the elevators made in the world are made in China, which has become a big export hub. And most of the engineering talent that are developed by companies like us is being deployed in China to serve from China the global market. Today, China hosts the highest number of Otis employees in the world, over 13,000. So it's a fundamental source of talent. And we pride ourselves in being, or always thriving to be, the best local elevator company in every country where we do business. And to do so, we need to attract, retain, and train the best possible talent in China. I always say that talent flow is the best indicator of future cash flows.
What kind of other opportunities for Otis in this fastly growing market?
High-rise, Western China, and the next frontier is also service. As we grow the installed base in China, which is already about 2.1 million elevators, the largest installed base in the world, China has a lot of firsts. We have to continue to grow our service business to make sure we keep those elevators running in a safe and reliable way. Being close to the customer with the best people with innovative products, I think is the recipe for success.
Any other sort of exciting plans lined up in this growing market?
We have the plan to expand, and then the next thing we need to work on is to improve and deploy new technology in our service business. Service is going to be an important element of our strategy in the next 10 years.
In 2011, in Beijing, there was an accident, fatal accident happened with Otis. Make of that after, post that accident, in terms of your service and etc.
Well, the first thing, it was a very unfortunate accident. We were very sorry for what happened and tried to learn as much as we could from it. And there's three key elements in ensuring safety for the riders of elevators and escalators. And I will quickly go through. The first is the quality of the product. So it's very important to ensure that the design and the supply chain of the products, be it an elevator or an escalator, is top-notch. We did invest a lot after what we learned from Beijing in reinforcing the quality controls in the supply chain in China, and I think we made a great progress. You also need to have a good safety system, which we do have, in trying to learn from every incident that either happened or could have happened, and take the lessons learned into the product design or the supply chain. And I think we already built a robust process to ensure the quality of the product. The second aspect, besides the quality of the product, is service, as I mentioned before. Since that time, we have hired or increased our service workforce by almost 1,000 people, and we have created very extensive programs for training. So I think we are investing for technical training in China in a way that will ensure that we have the best mechanics available for each job. And so that, together with the new technologies that will allow them to have the right information at the right time, and all the product-related information they need to have at their handhelds, will ensure that we have a very, very strong service. But this is also applicable to every company. I think it's important to ensure that qualified mechanics service the units. And that's the next big effort that needs to be developed in China. And the third element is educating the public. Make sure that people understand what are the basics of safety. And we have started a public education campaign, not just for elevator safety, but for safety in general, that I think if you improve the awareness among the users.
In Otis sort of company map for global expansion or something like that, where China is? China
is not an emerging market. We have to find a different, you cannot call an emerging market a market that's more than 50% of your market. It's an emerged market. It's a very big market and continues to grow. I think it probably will be the largest market for elevators in the next decade for sure.